it also made me think about, the conditions I have. And, I have spoke largely on here about ADHD and autism. I think we've touched on bipolar a bit, but we haven't gone into it very deeply. It's probably on the list somewhere. But I just had this thought last night about, how would you explain to somebody what bipolar actually is? Because even before I've looked into all this properly, my summation or my understanding of what ADHD and autism was completely wrong and ignorant, to be honest. I think a lot with autism, we put everyone in this little tiny box here. I think with ADHD, we just think it's this bit and this bit, when in actual fact, there's all this middle bit and these side bits as well. Again, same with autism, big long line of spectrum. And, someone was explaining the other day how you can have you can have 15, 20 people in a room. They've all got ADHD and autism. But if you look at MIDI controllers on, it's all these levers that could be pushed at different levels. So not one person is entirely the same with that condition. It takes these little variable lever points that make that condition completely different. I hope I've explained that correctly. But I'm going to read you something in a moment. But I do need to hurry up today. I really do. Can't be doing any 49-minute episodes today because I've now got I've got to fly out, run a couple more errands, and then I'm meeting someone to actually, meet a few people to actually enjoy my Saturday. I've worked very hard this week. I've put hours in, I've put the time in, I've done a lot of things, I've got stuff done. So I'm making the decision and the deliberate choice to actually enjoy my weekend this weekend. That's what I want to do. I think, all rest and no play makes Jacob a dull boy. So we're going to get the press-ups done, and then I'm going to read you Right, so I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to go, Peter, because I really do need to crack on today. So, this thought started with, how could I explain bipolar? This is what I wrote. It was about, maybe 12, half 12 in the morning. You'll have to excuse my panting breath. It's 27 degrees today, people, and I'm not very fit, and I've got a bad shoulder. Right, so here we go. Too much of anything can set us off and induce hypomanic or hypomania episodes. So too many cigarettes can do this, too much coke can do this, too much alcohol can do this, too much exercise can do this, and even too much sex can. And I think in one sense or another, all of these, in some way or another, are stimulants. And bipolar, among other strong resonating factors, is about chemical imbalance in the brain. Depletion of too many different chemicals, again unbalanced, can induce manic or depressive, negative, angry, reactionary, abusive behaviour. But on the other side, an overload of even good chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, adrenaline, endorphins also maximize hypomania's tendency to engage in risky behaviours, impulsive episodes, acting without the thought of consequence for the safety of yourself or those around you. Sexual promiscuity, anger outbursts, a tendency for erratic or even violent behaviour, blacking out. The condition itself can be quite harmful, reckless, debilitating, out of control, wild and spontaneous. But again, on the polaritive mirror, it can also be isolating, condemning, rageful, regretful, depressing, despairing, a solid sense of doom and gloom felt so intently that when someone's nice to you, it hurts. It's like, in an illustrative aspects, trying to keep the demon inside. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But the deeper the episode gets, the more it starts rising to the surface. If it reaches the surface, it will embody you, like it's now your epidermis, and in control of your central nervous system, and can power you like a robot or a parasitic symbiotic relationship. And it's your job to do what you can to keep that locked down in its little box. Ironically, having to try navigate both extremes in tandem whilst rapid cycling and not allowing it to osmoseously shimmer out that box. And we do this by, ironically, having to attempt to live in a very middle, medium, consistent, flatlined movement at even pace for everything. Everything we love and everything we hate. Sometimes having to master restriction, pause, suppressing, calm, discipline, silence, survival mode, noise, expression, reflex, routine, love, and above all, self-control and stability. And most days, waking up is a mood lottery. And it's a mood lottery none of us want to win. But I say this today because in a very simplistic, explanative form, although more diluted and not exact but familiar, that is essentially an emotionally unregulated, intense, unstable sensory processing condition, which in ADHD comes to its root and simple form of dysregulation. So it's interesting that there's much overlap. But again, having bipolar and taking ADHD meds can still execute and exhibit all the things I just explained above about bipolar. So even down to medication, we are back to the middle road, a flatline movement, a medium. It's all about balance, and essentially where you want to be is halfway. We can't have balance unless we consume balance, exercise balance, practice balance, and be in balance with ourselves and our emotions. That is the driving force behind all mentalities, all perception, all people, regardless of neurotype. It's emotion, it's energy in motion, and it's our job to keep that orb of energy in balance, moving, spinning, and hovering correctly in the right place for us to be regulated within our energy in motion. What else could we call that? Life force. Life force, it's your energy. It's your electricity. In Marvel terms, it's a spiritual arc reactor that powers your vessel and is responsible for the maintenance and transportation of electricity through your body, powering cells, pumping the oxygen, igniting your synaptic neurons and pathways to the brain. When a circuit runs correctly, everything works. And that's why it's important not to abuse things. Even something as natural as sex. The depletion of life force and imbalance affects all areas of your life because the life force dims, which in a prism sense equally depletes down the energy and motion of that interaction, causing disease in reality, which for you is mental and physical. That's for everyone. But I think things like bipolar and ADHD being so amplified, it's like fast to low, but slow to build. So it's imperative for us to find that balance, that routine, them rules, that discipline, that commitment to self, that control, that stability. But ultimately, medication or not, that's what we have to master. Our life force can be taken or grow too rapidly for our circuit board to handle. Practice the art of being still. Practice the art of letting your mind guide you. Sorry, Pete, I lost me. Sorry. Practice the art of letting your mind guide you with slight steering control. Practice the art of speaking to you, your higher self. Meditate on it. Take time for you away from the world. Release excess energy in a positive way and top up fading energy in ways that impact a natural growth. Rebuild and rewire your brain. It's hard, but it's possible. Ultimately, though, through all of that, there's a lot of good a lot of people don't get to see. It's dismissed. We are very resilient, realistic, logical, spiritual, empathetic, creative, problem solvers. Sometimes we will think in ways you find crazy. But we were actually right. We are the artists, the musicians, the productive bounce backs that don't take no for an answer. We learn through debate and facts, and don't just learn through thought and memory. We learn through feeling, energy, importance, relevance. Sometimes we'll even have voices. But don't worry, they're all just us. And if you've got a problem between the three of us, we will sort it for you. But most of all, like most creatures on this planet, we just want love, harmony, purpose, and to feel like we matter. You can be in a crowded room and feel alone. You'll find us usually in a group with a big smile on our face, making everyone laugh around us. Or alone, watching everything like a radar, scanning a building in a war. Our journey can be very hard, but it can also be beautiful and very rewarding. Be part of that side for us. Because the more you are, the longer this demon's locked in his little box, and our life force is perfectly situated as the universe intended. All in balance. As above, so below. As within, so without. Unison. That is the irony of bipolar. We live at two different extremes all the time. But the answer to all of that is balance and unison. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Take care of yourselves and each other. Much love from me. Peace as always. Enjoy your weekend. Speak soon.